Good afternoon. Happy Magical Wednesday, you guys. It is Wise Women's Wednesday. Come on in. Let's make it happen. Let's make it happen. This is what I do on Wise Women every day at 1 o'clock. This is part of my little routine. I start with a little Just Juice what is it? It's not Just Juice veg. I'm going to talk to you about that. It's hot milk mix. Hot milk mix for the win. Tell me if you're here. Say hello. Here it comes, everybody. Hello, Doris. Good afternoon to you. There's my girl, Cynthia. I love seeing everybody come in here. And here they all come. Barbara's here. Yay, Barbara. Come on in, you guys. The water is fine. We're going to have some fun today. I love Wise Women's Wednesdays. It's one of my very favorite things. One of my very favorite things. Hey, Katie, it's your first live? Good. There's my lovely Sherry and Melissa from Colorado. Hello, my Diane. I give you a big hug back. And Marianne, she's here in the house. It's so fun when I see people that I recognize. You know, we have so many. We have the Sprint group, of course. And look, there's Vanessa. Thank you. She said I'm gorgeous. Listen, this hair tomorrow, 9 o'clock a.m. Just me and Eric. Eric's my hairdresser, and this guy is a miracle man. He's going to take all this away. And I can't wait to get my color back. Katie's asking me which one of my meal plans is the most kid-friendly. You know, that's an arbitrary question simply because everybody, you know, what does kid-friendly mean to you? So I would say look at the classic meal plan and take a look at that. If you don't have any, you know, any problems at all with any kind of eating issues like no gluten, dairy, etc., that would be a classic family would be a good place to start. It's all natural foods, healthy foods, and it's a good one. There's Jan. Hi, Andy. Here come all my friends. Alrighty, we're coming in. Are you guys sharing this, by the way? You know, when we share, we care. And you know what I'm working on right now, don't you? I am working on getting this Body Clutter book signed from both Marla and I to you. We have 2 of them. And Marla has been in and out, and I didn't even get to see her when she was here. She was barely here 24 hours, and it was Robert's birthday and all of that, so we haven't done it yet. Katie, you're so welcome. And I know, you know, and you can try anything. The other thing is there's a search option in the dinner answers, so you can see any recipe that we have. You have access to every single recipe under the sun, just almost everything I've ever written, and it's there. So you can see, like, does this work for my family? And you can change things up. You can also, you know, keep those menus that have worked well for your family. Cynthia, thank you for sharing. When you share, you care. Sharing it. There's Cassie and Donna. I see my girls. They're all coming in. Isn't it so fun? Don't you love this? I love Wise Women's Wednesdays. Listen, Wise Women's Wednesdays, this is where we get to start talking about the things that matter to us as women. And we get to talk about things specifically that affect us as women. And that's why today's topic is so good on, we're going to talk about mean girls. Because mean girls grow up, don't they? And there's a few reasons why I want to talk about this because, you know, I have been bullied myself before. I've had a lot of mean girls write me some pretty mean emails. And it can derail everything that we ever do. So I don't want to do that anymore. There's Deborah from Idaho. Hi, Deborah. And Janet. I love all you guys just pouring in here. Thank you so much for being supportive. Thank you so much for what you do for, gosh, you do a lot for me personally, by the way. And I thank you for that. And you help me to shine in my own giftings. And I hope I help you to shine in yours. That's my whole goal. There's Brenda. Hi, Brenda. Nice to see you. Anyway, Body Clutter book. If you haven't read it yet, please do. You know, it doesn't cost much. It's less than $10 on Amazon. And in it, you're going to get some information that's going to help you on your journey. And let me just tell you, most of us who are here are all in the same place. We're all in the same place. You know why? All of us are here trying to get all of these things worked out. We have decided collectively, have we not, that we want to get off the carousel of crazy. It's not just that we want to get off the carousel of crazy with the up and down and the going crazy with all the diets and the gurus and trying to get off this food nonsense that just takes up so much brain space. It's not that we're just trying to get off of it. We're trying to get off, unplug, dismantle, destroy the carousel of crazy. And we're onto something here. The sprint has been a springboard for so many of us, and it's absolutely free, 100% free. How can you say no to that? Why wouldn't you try it? Why wouldn't you? I just think it's the most incredible thing ever. There's Roberta, Marianne, hello, hi guys, come on in, the water's fine. So anyway, so what we always start off with what our quote of the week is, and one of my favorites is W. Clement Stone's quote, which is this: "Little hinges swing big doors. Oh boy, howdy do they." This is the big stuff, you guys. This is the stuff that I love to meditate on these things because it makes me understand just how much those little tiny baby steps, those little incremental things mean all the difference. It means the difference between having and not having. It means the difference between enjoying something and regretting something. All these little things that we can do in our lives are based on these tiny little hinges. If our life is to be that great big door, those tiny little hinges are what holds it up. Physical, emotional, and spiritual. Those three things are the hinges for your life. And when you start to dial them in and you start to see, it's just not there. We're not looking for perfect. We're looking for excellence always, because excellence feeds our soul. Excellence makes us feel better about who we are, and excellence takes us to the next level. It's encouraging to be excellent, isn't it? I find it that way. And it, it's discouraging when we don't do things the way we know we could. We feel less than. We beat ourselves up and all of that. But here's the point, though. We can always go back to the whole thing of like, okay, so today wasn't such a great day, but tomorrow can be better. How do I course correct? Well, how do you course correct? I'm going to tell you right now. Here's the pitch, right? It's called Take Back Your Life. And this is my journal for women who are desiring real change. I am doing a huge workshop on that on December 7th, I believe oh boy, I should probably look at my calendar. Sometimes you just don't know what the dates are. December 5th at 7 p.m. Eastern. It's Take Back Your Life workshop. And for people who own this planner, it's a 90-day planner, I'm going to take you all the way through and show you how to create and set up the next 90 days of your life so that you are living a life that is the life you want to create. Not by chance, not just having all your circumstances mow you over and make you feel like roadkill. We're going to do things on purpose this year. 2020 is my year. Is 2020 your year? Is it? And also, don't you want to end the year with a bang? Don't you want to end the year with not a lot of regret, but a lot of hope? This is what we're going to do. We structure things to make them work for us. That is exciting. Deborah, what I would suggest you do, because I know you're a member of the club, I would suggest you get the PDF and start working on it. There's also anybody who orders this, you can get the PDF, it's $15. You can get the hard copy, it's $29.95, and you get the PDF right away, and you get a workshop that goes with it that's pre-recorded. But what we're going to do in the live workshop is we're going to take our PDFs. I'm going to suggest using PDFs. Take our PDFs and start the actual planning. I'm going to give you some prompts. I'm going to show you how it's done. I'm going to give you examples from my own journal, and we're going to go through it together, however long it takes. And then we're going to open up for questions and answers, and we're going to be sharing this stuff. We have a special Facebook group and I'm telling you what, guys, the more you're into it, the more you plan for it, the better you're going to see it. This is what dreams are made of. Our dreams don't just come falling from the sky like little fairy dust with, hopes and dreams and just, gee, I hope so, and gee. But it comes from our proactive involvement, from planning and understanding, affirmations, all the things come into it. But sometimes we have to get rid of our negative self-talk, and you know that happens quite a bit. Negative self-talk is part of our, battle. It's one of the reasons it got us to the place of the carousel of crazy. And wise women understand this. Wise women understand that in order to go forward, you're going to have to plan for something different. If you do this, if you understand that planning is going to make the difference, then you're going to get on it. And if you think for a minute that just doing the same thing is going to get you different results next year, well, Einstein's quote, yeah, it's just doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results is the definition of insanity. I don't want that for you. That's why I'm all over you like white on rice, man. I'm all over you every single day talking about this stuff because it's our mindset. Our mindset is going to make the difference. Our mindset's going to decide for us and going to start putting into place this idea that we're planning for something completely different. That not only do we have the ability to plan, but we have the ability to put into place the very things that we want. We can create the life we want. Yippee yahoo! Yeah, come on, give me some love for that one. This is important stuff, you guys. So before we get into the whole mean girls thing, and Debbie says she feels like roadkill most of the time, especially after eating out. Yeah, there's some, that's an interesting connection. Yeah, I mean, that's, when we have inflammatory food in our lives, we're going to have an inflammatory reaction, aren't we? Nobody gets away with it, by the way. We don't get away with it. Why do we think we're going to get a free pass when we go driving through something that's we know is nothing but 100% crap? It's not going to work. We've got to fix that stuff, and I want to talk about that. That's what our mean girl thing is about, because it's not necessarily mean girls on the outside of us from junior high. Sometimes it's the mean girl on inside of you. Let's talk about it. A couple of things, though. I wanted to tell you about one supplement that we just seem to have a lot of right now. And it's Just Juice Vegetables. I'm going to talk to you about Just Juice Veggies. I can't hold that very well, can I? How do you, there it is. Does that look better? Just Juice Veggies. This is a comprehensive formula that has 5 to 7 servings of fruit and vegetables in each scoop. Now, I wish I'd had this when I had my children. Even though they were good eaters, I would have always liked to throw some more vegetables down them and more veggies into me too. But this stuff is, without alfalfa, everything's organic. It's got probiotics, phytonutrients for days. And the thing you need to look at for this is that it is like getting juicing without the juice, because all that sugar, right? And believe me, I've been a big juicer. I've done some things. Juicing helps. Juicing is a super helpful thing, but not with all the sugar. It's not for a weight loss type of a plan, but it can be extraordinarily healing. Well, this is Just Juice Veggies is that without the juicing. And if you get it now, it's free shipping. This is something that, there's how many servings? There's 30 servings per container, and it tastes good. It tastes really good. It's really good stuff. And it has a patented broccoli seed extract, sulforaphane. Yes, it does. Love those puppies. I wish I knew your first name. I don't. I should. And I know you're in one of my groups. Yeah, Marianne has it. She said she loves it. The taste is awesome. It is awesome. And it does work on keto. There is 1 gram of sugar per scoop, and that's just the dried veggies and stuff in it. There is no alfalfa, no filler, none of that. And understand something. If you have a greens drink or whatever that you love, great. I would love to see everybody have something that's kind of their backup, but don't get anything with alfalfa in it, especially if you have an autoimmune disorder, because alfalfa, believe it or not, can trigger an autoimmune reaction and cause a whole domino effect of symptoms. So who knew? But that's the reason it gets put in there is all those grasses and alfalfa and what have you. It's cheap filler. This stuff isn't. This is all very targeted, and it's amazing. And the sulforaphane is something, if you're with me on the sprint, I'm a big one when it comes to this. I love it in the sprint. We grow broccoli seeds. We're farmers. And we grow broccoli seeds because broccoli seeds have 10 times the amount of sulforaphane than regular broccoli does. 10 times. This is potent stuff. And it's also in Just Juice Veggie. So I love that. But you understand that, there was the researchers at UCLA reported that people who eat 7 or more servings of fruit or vegetables a day were 42% less likely to die prematurely, right? That makes sense. So, we got to look at that. We got to look at that. We got to look at how do we get more nutrients in. And Just Juice Veggies is one of those things. Throw it in your pantry, give it to your kids, take it on, occasion. Every once in a while when I get kind of the hungries, I'll have some Just Juice Veggies with a little scoop of fiber mender in there down the hatch in the middle of the afternoon, and it keeps me out of the pantry. Jan says she is a farmer. She is a farmer because Jan makes her little broccoli sprouts. I do them all the time. I've got broccoli sprouts and radish sprouts sitting on my countertop. They're delicious. You just grab them and eat them and put them on the dining room table so you don't forget about them. But grab your Just Juice Veggies, grab your Take Back Your Life journals, get ready to do some massive planning. And we're also going to be doing, for those who are part of this workshop, for those who are part of that, you're going to get part 2 and get an invitation to come to my I'm going to do it on our Facebook Live in the workshop group, which you'll get an invitation to as well. And we're going to do vision boards for 2020. So start collecting your magazines. I'm project mode. I know the holidays are coming up, but you need to fit into the equation. Self-care is what it's all about. And if we can start setting ourselves up, bingo, it's just the best thing ever. Okay, Lisa, I know who you are now. Now that I know you, I'm going to call you out next time I see you come in. Vanessa, you can take Just Juice Veggies alone with water. Absolutely, 100%. That's something that you can do with your kids. I'm just saying I add the fiber mender, and the reason why is because fiber mender goes like that in your stomach, and sometimes I need that just to remind myself I don't need a snack. I mean, come on. You know how it is. Between 2 o'clock and 4 o'clock, it's just, man, you want to go rattle around in that kitchen, don't you? No snacking. We are not about snacking. We got rid of that habit, didn't we? I certainly hope so. Okay. So don't forget, Q&A is on Friday. It's this Friday. Okay? Don't forget. Are you going to send me a question? support@savingdinner.com. In the subject line, just say question for Leanne on Friday. That helps the customer service know what to do with it, and they'll forward it on to me, and we'll take care of all of it. There's Yvonne. Yes, Lisa said self-care is a good thing to add. It is. Because usually what happens is everybody gets run down and tired, and they're exhausted, and you gain weight, and nobody feels good for the holidays. We have these high expectations. It's going to be Norman Rockwell all over, and we're going to decorate just beautifully, and the food is going to be perfect. And then we're going to have all these parties and what have you to go to. And at the end, what happens? We feel like we've been run over by a bus. It's the holiday bus comes running over. Because we haven't taken care of ourselves. I want to add you to the equation this year. If you're about that, let me know, because I'm telling you, you don't have to get left behind. You don't have to get left behind. It's about you too. When it's about you too, then suddenly you're going to feel a lot better. There she is right there. Roberta says, I've got a great tip to not stack. Use L-glutamine on your mouth and gums. She's right. She's right. And that's over there. But L-glutamine works as well. But also, too, I have a very strong theory that I'm working off of. Some science supports it, but there's not enough studies out there. And that is, when you get your nutrient density in, you're less likely to be working in the craving part. Right? The cravings start to go away. You're no longer rattling around in the cupboards just for something to eat. And, we have to stop looking at our mouths as the entertainment zone and start looking at ourselves as we love ourselves. We're going to feed ourselves the nutrition that we need and give ourselves the care that we need as well. So important, you guys. This is what wise women do. We recognize where the deficits are. you know, and it's understandable. This is what women have done for centuries. We've sacrificed ourselves for the good of everyone else, the family, the spouse, the children, the parents, work, friends, church, all of it. Everybody gets the better of us, and then we've got our leftovers. We're the roadkill, you know? No more. It's time to stop that nonsense. Say happy birthday to Robin. Here she is. Catherine says, my mouth is now the nutrition zone, not the entertainment center. Man, oh man, do I love that one, Catherine. I'm going to have to take that up and put it on my list of things I love. That was a great one. So here we go. Let's get into this whole Mean Girls thing, because I think this is an important lesson for us, because how many of us have been in the place of either, you know, been victimized by a mean girl. You know, I was bullied. I've told you about that. I was bullied badly when I was in 7th grade. Badly. I was awkward and tall and geeky and, you know, buck teeth, the whole bit. And, you know, these girls were horrible. They trash talked me. They kicked me. They scared me. They intimidated the heck out of me. They beat me up. They pushed me into the lockers in the gym. After school on the way home, they ripped my beautiful coffee legs pantyhose. And you know what? It's just, this is not how women should behave. This is how girls have behaved, but sometimes these mean girls grow up and they're still mean girls. They might not be pushing you into the gym lockers, or they might not be ripping your pantyhose up, but they're still mean girls. They're still gossiping. They're still tearing you down. They're still doing the put downs, the lies. It's this junior high mentality that here's a 50, 60-year-old woman and she's still doing this garbage. Those people are toxic. At that point, this has become a lifestyle for them, and we got to cut them out. But what happens when that mean girl's you? And you're talking to yourself that way. You're bullying yourself. You're putting yourself down. You get in front of the mirror. I am fat. I'm ugly. I don't deserve this. I'm never going to have. I am always this. I'm always that. I don't want that for you. And there's a way to flip it. There's a way to flip it. And if you've had a bullied time in your life where a mean girl was all up in your grill, so to speak, and just being horrible to you, and you just have kind of shrunk back, then you need to reassess. You need to reassess where you are and understand and talk to yourself in the way that you understand that the mean girl stuff is over and you no longer have to go there. And we're going to talk about how we can get out of that whole thing. It doesn't have to be that way, you guys. Nobody needs to put up with being bullied anymore. Nobody needs to be put up with a mean girl. And we in our community, if there's a mean girl in there, they're out. That's what happens. They show their colors, and they're gone. We do not put up with that in the Sprint communities or any of my other communities. If you're mean, you're out. You know why? We lift up people. We lift everyone up. Everyone deserves to be lifted up. Everyone deserves to be loved. Everyone deserves to have the kind of life that they want to create for themselves without the negativity. We have enough negativity inside of us, don't we? We do. And that negativity that's inside of us, man, we have a job to weed that stuff out. But if there's people and toxic people in our peripheral, that's got to be dealt with. And sometimes they're close, they're family members, but that doesn't stop you from having a voice and putting and taking up your own cause and putting up for yourself. Put up for yourself. Don't shut up. Put up. It's important. But we have to look at this. We have to look at this all the time because this is part of who we are. Some of us have a mean girl dwelling inside. And some of us don't even understand that. We're just used to it. If we can differentiate, you know how I always say we need to stand in the contrast. This works, this doesn't. This is inflammatory, this is anti-inflammatory. When we stand in the contrast, we can understand, differentiate, and cut the crap, right? And say no more. Cut it, put a line down the middle and say that goes. That goes. Because you can't keep talking negatively to yourself and expect any change. The change has to come from within. And you know, there's so much that we can look at that's like that. Like, for example, when we are we talk about collagen loading, and I've been talking about that a lot because it's such a big needle mover, especially for people who are trying to lose a lot of weight. What collagen does, you can see it on the outside of your skin. You can see the effects of it, but it takes a while because it works on the inside and comes out. You understand that? It works on the inside and works its way out. Everything is an inside job. We have to start at the inside and then it'll work out. We don't gain 30 pounds overnight. We gain it an ounce at a time before it finally catches up. So as we start to lose, we might not see it effective right away. But if we're doing the right thing, even if it doesn't show up on the scale, even if it doesn't show up with the measuring tape, if we just keep doing the same thing, we will get the results. We know this. Or tweak it a little bit, or troubleshoot it, but take the emotion out of it and just look at it for what it is. What am I doing here? What's going on? Let's make an evaluation. Let's write all this stuff down. This is the same thing for this mean garbage that's inside of us. Let's address the mean girl. What do we do about her? What do we do about that mean girl that's living inside of us, who's bullying us, who every time we look at the mirror is saying something negative and awful about ourselves? Well, again, it's back to the contrast. Identify that mean girl. Identify her and just tell her in no uncertain terms that she's just not welcome anymore. That you have this care and love for yourself, that you're not going to tolerate the mean girl anymore. You're not. And that you're going to surround yourself and make sure that your community, your tribe, the people that you're surrounding yourself with are the people who are going to lift you up. It's why we have the communities that we have. I know that there are women in our communities who come into our communities, and I can tell. I get the emails from them who say, they've come from a place of abuse. They've come from a place where they're intrepid and fearful and scared. And they're hoping that they can reach out and not be batted back down again. Our tribe, our place, our community is a place of love and acceptance for all, wherever you are on your journey, but not if you're a mean girl. If you're a mean girl, you're out. But if you want to come in and you want to learn how to get rid of the mean girl inside, we're there for you. This is what we do. We surround our people. We are a circle of women who love each other. We hold each other up continually. And what did you just say here? Jennifer said, I have been the meanest to me than anyone else. When we recognize that, we can do better, can't we? I recognize that with myself. I can be so critical and so mean and so harsh on myself. And that part of that is perfectionism, that doesn't it always just want to come back in? Even though we understand where perfect is and that it's not meant for this plane, it's not meant for this life. Even though we understand that, it does come creeping back in, doesn't it? But we got to bat it down and say, no, we're not after perfect. We're after excellence, though. We're after excellent. And if I can't do it excellent today, I can do it excellent tomorrow. I'm going to do my best. And you know what? Doing your best is always excellent. Always. Because it's better than what you did before. And just doing a little bit more and a little bit more and a little bit better every time, not only does it help you to see excellence, but it helps to reinforce that you have what it takes to do this. You do. You have the power within. Because you're not pitiful, you're powerful. And therein lies the magic. That's the magic that makes you, you. How fantastic is that? You know, how fantastic is that? But we've got to create successful environments for us. This is why we talk about routines. This is why we talk about, are you eating an anti-inflammatory diet? Everything matters. Your people matter, your food matters, what you think about matters, how much movement you're getting in your life, stress, taking care of stress matters. All of these things matter. And if we understand, this is Jennifer's, who was us saying? Jan says, read what God says, you are beloved, cherished. Yes. And we are fearfully and wonderfully made by the Creator himself. And when we understand that, and we understand the enormity of that, at that point, the mean girl diminishes, doesn't she? The mean girl doesn't stand a chance against the Creator of all. You're a daughter of the King. A daughter of the King. That means that you get to run into the throne room, jump on the Father's lap, and be loved by him. No, you don't need to create, there's no barrier there. You have free access. Therefore, the mean girl has to go. The mean girl doesn't fit into the equation. The mean girl is filled with hate. The mean girl is filled with envy. The mean girl is filled with bullying and all of that, whether she's outside of you or she's inside of you. Who and what is the company you're keeping? If you're keeping company with people who gossip and pull people down and you just go along with it, you're just as culpable as they are. You can't be around that negativity. You need to be around the positivity. You need to build yourself up and build others up with you. You know, this is what we do. We help each other. We are women who boost each other up. You give me a boost, I'm going to give you a boost right back. And let's do this together. And watch the magic. Watch what happens. We need to go deep on this. We need to go deep on this. We can't just expect that it will just happen, will it? No. This is our planning. This is our journaling. This is grabbing a buddy, getting a body clutter buddy. Instead of just going into the groups or whatever, it's going a step further. It's saying, I want you to help me to be accountable. I'm negative with myself. I find all kinds of rationales and reasons to cheat and to do all these other things. And I want to get off the carousel of crazy. Because the carousel of crazy, while it might be the weight loss stuff, there's a lot of carousels of crazy out there, aren't there? There's a lot of them. And our crazy trained brain is going to take us right down there again because our brains love to do the things that they already know about. It's comfortable. You know, this is why a lot of times adult children of alcoholics end up marrying another alcoholic because this is what we know. It's not because we're looking to create the same misery. It's looking to create the same thing that we already know. And I know about this because I did it. So find your voice, my friend. If you are around people who are giving you this bullying type of a thing, who are around you, who are not uplifting you and helping you go to a higher level, who are instead tearing you down, backhanded compliments, that's one of the most insidious ones. And I've had a few friends like that. They need to go. Use your voice. You say it's just not okay. I know what you're saying here, and that was a backhanded compliment. You know, oh, you look good in those pants. Gosh, I never thought I'd see you in those pants again, but you look so good. Well, bless your heart. You know, really? No. The women who are in your life and the people who are in your life need to help hold you to that standard, but in a way that's loving, that's kind, and that totally brings you into their circle as well. And if you have people in your life that aren't doing this and they're close in your life and you can't just unfriend them, so to speak, then you need to use your voice and speak up for you, what you know is right. It's never okay to let anybody run you over, ever. Mean girls run people over. But you know what? Mean girls are usually cowards. And when you call them out and tell them like it is, they'll shrink back and they'll go find somebody else who they think is weak and that can be easily manipulated. So wise women are not weak, they're strong. Wise women are not pitiful, they're powerful. Wise women speak up for themselves, they don't go silent and shame and shrink around in shame. And wise women don't say things like shame on you and you ought to do this and you ought to do that. Wise women use words that express themselves and take responsibility for themselves. And if there is something that needs to be dealt with, it's dealt with and it's spoken about plainly. And there's just no mincing of words. But it's kind, it's gentle, it's loving. It's always like that because that's how wise women roll. So stop the trash talk. If any of this is, resonated with you and you've spent any time with this garbage, if you've done any just mean girl stuff and gossiped a little, maybe put down or dissed or, I don't know, brought in the whole junior high theatrics, knock it off. You're better than that. And if anybody is in your world who's trying to do that to you, call them out and get rid of them if you need to. Toxicity is what mean girls are all about. Toxicity. And you would not serve toxic food to anybody. You would not put toxic gas in a room. You wouldn't give toxic water to your family. And stop dishing out the toxicity. It's just the same thing. We are women who have the capability to love and to give affirming everything to our friends and family, affirming everything. We can affirm the good stuff that they're doing. We can affirm the lives that they're living that are elevated. We can affirm all these things. We can affirm it for ourselves. We can affirm it for our family and friends that are in the same dish that we are, which is an up-leveled type of a life that we want. This is what we all want. We don't want the low common denominator junk. We're trying to get out of that. It hasn't worked for us, has it? What works for wise women is being surrounded with other wise women. What works for wise women is understanding that the power is within and that pitiful just has nothing to do with who we are. And that we understand that those little hinges swing great big doors, and at any moment in time, we have the tools, the capability, and the know-how to be able to adjust those hinges so that that door swings so much more easily. Life is simple, but it's not easy. It's simple. We get what we put into it. And the more we put into it, the more planning that we put into it, the more that we invest into it and understand that we are capable of creating the exact life that we want if only we get into that planning mode and stop dealing with mean girls on the outside and the mean girl on the inside. Start speaking to yourself in a way that affirms the wondrousness of who you are. And remember who you are and in whose image you were created. You are wonderfully and fearfully made. End of story. That's your purpose right there. That's the be all and the end all. And how that is going to play out in your life is going to play out in your life the more you do to understand that this is your identity and this is the way that you need to go forward. And it requires a lot more of who you are than maybe you even recognize. But that shouldn't overwhelm you. That should excite you. That should bring you to the place of understanding that life is just about to get incredible. Incredible. Because as you do all of this, that's when you stir the magic. And that's when the magic comes out. And that's when you start the creative process of having and creating the life that you actually want. I love it. I love it. And I am so excited to work. There's so many of you that I get to work with. And, every time I have a consultation and I get on with any of my clubbers and get to talk to them face to face and talk about what it is that they're trying to create in their life, It's thrilling. Every time I get done with it, I feel so full of gratitude. I am full of gratitude for all of you. I am full of gratitude that you are here, and I thank you for the way that you have supported Saving Dinner through the years, for getting your supplements from me, and even, my silly little planner, you know? And if there's anything that I can do to help serve you and to make your life better, I want to know about it. And if you've got questions for me, please send them in this week so I can answer them on Friday for Q&A. That goes to support@savingdinner.com. And we've got the Thanksgiving menu for you, by the way. Did you know about that? If you go to savingdinner.com/Thanksgiving, it's all right there. Whether you're keto, whether you're low carb, paleo, or you just want a classic family style, all of the stuff is there. Everything is there. And guess what? You can share that link, savingdinner.com/Thanksgiving. Share it with everybody. I'll be looking for that too. That's going to play in to my giving away the Body Clutter book. Because I want to bless you, but I want to bring more people into our circle. We have an amazing thing going. Wouldn't it be fun if we were 100,000 strong instead of 2,000 strong? I see that for next year. Let's do it. Let's create a movement of wise women. How about that? We create a movement of wise women. Women who don't put up with it anymore. Women who say, that is enough with the mean girls, whether they're outside or inside. That is enough with all of this other garbage. I am going to create the life I want. It is the wise women's movement. And if you're a part of it, I see the hearts coming. I'm delighted. I am super delighted. So that's it. That's all I've got for you today. I think I've got everything here. The sprint, by the way, the sprint is starting on December 9th. So if you want to get your supplements, get them. Now's the time. Get them for the sprint. Go to savingdinner.com/sprint. And everything is printed out for you there. It is free. And it is an amazing thing. We'll get you into our communities. And the Wise Women of 2020, that's who we are, Catherine. You're absolutely right. The Wise Women of 2020, we are going to rock this world. Not only are we going to create a movement, but we're going to take 2020 to a whole new level, ladies. A whole new level. Or if you're with me, throw me some massive hearts, because we're going to do this together. I promise you, I am with you 100% all the way. Let's create the Wise Women's movement. Why not? 2020 is going to be our year. That's what I say. We have everything. Everything is working right now for the holidays. Everything's working right now to plan for 2020. And I'm telling you right now, if you're a part of it and you're with me, share this video and let's bring some more sisters into the circle. We are here to lift each other up and to make wise women of movement. 2020 is our year. Peace out.